Jai Shri Mataji. Welcome to today's online collective meditation session. स्वागत सभी का आज के ध्यान सेशन में। आइए हम सब श्री माता जी को भावपूर्वक नमन करते हुए अपनी कुंडलिनी चढ़ाकर बंधन लेंगे। Let's bow down to Shri Mata Ji. Raise our kundalini and take bandhan. तीन महामंत्र और गणेश मंत्र। ध्यान की स्थिति स्थिर करने हेतु हम सभी अपने आप को संतुलित कर लेते हैं। टू बैलेंस ourselves, left hand towards Shri Mataji's photo and right hand on Mother Earth. बायां हाथ श्री माता जी की ओर और दाहिना हाथ भूमि तत्व पर। लेट्स प्रे। श्री माता जी से प्रार्थना करेंगे, श्री माता जी कृपा करके हमारे बाएं नाड़ी को इस पृथ्वी तत्व द्वारा निर्मल कीजिए। मदर, प्लीज क्लेंस माय लेफ्ट चैनल. Let all the impurities of my left channel be absorbed into the earth element. अपना दाएं हाथ श्री माता जी की ओर रखेंगे और बाएं हाथ आकाश की ओर। श्री माता जी से प्रार्थना करेंगे, श्री माता जी हमारे दाएं नाड़ी की अत्यधिक उष्णता को आकाश तत्व में विलीन कीजिए। Keeping our right hand on our lap and raising left hand towards the sky, we pray, Mother, please cleanse my right channel. Let all the excess heat of my right channel be absorbed into the sky element. We shall keep our left hand towards Shri Mata Ji and right hand on our left heart. अपना बायां हाथ माता जी की ओर और दाहिना हाथ लेफ्ट हाथ पे एंड प्रार्थना करेंगे, श्री माता जी मैं आत्मा हूं। श्री माता जी मैं शुद्ध आत्मा हूं। श्री माता जी मेरी आत्मा को प्रकाशित करें। Mother, I am the spirit. Mother, I am the spirit. Only the spirit. I am not the ego, not this body, not this emotion. I am only the pure spirit. अब अपने दोनों हाथ श्री माता जी की ओर, both hands on our lap towards श्री माता जी. अपना सारा चित सहस्त्रार पे स्थिर रखते हुए, keeping our attention on Sahasrara, we shall pray. Mother, please cleanse my central channel. Mother, please help me to be in balance. अपनी इसी निर्विचरता की स्थिति में स्थिर रहते हुए श्री माता जी के अमृतवाणी को आत्मसार करेंगे.
All these identifications drop out. Now, one may say how to drop it out. I have never dropped them, but still I can suggest certain things which confirm. First is meditation. You should discover about yourself what's wrong with you, which side is catching. Is it right or left side? With meditation you can find out. Are you attached to money? Are you attached to business? Are you attached to your family? Are you attached to your country in a way which is not such? Or to your culture which is not such? Then try to get rid of this attachment by meditation. You know how to get rid of the right and the left. This attachment will show on your fingertips. And you have to see for yourself what centers you are catching, in which way are you in trouble, and then you can clarify it very simply by taking a very simple search treatment. I think here we fail that once we get attached to something, we don't even think we are getting attached. We think we are doing very great thing because now we love this person, love that person. Shiva's qualities. The compassion part. You start getting attached to people. That is no compassion. That is no compassion of any kind. To be attached to any such things is no compassion, and you cannot have compassion of Shiva. Though people think it is the Shiva's compassion that is working within us, not. Because that compassion is very pure. It is like, as I have told you many times, it's like the sap in the tree, which rises and goes to various parts of the tree, and then either it evaporates or goes down into Mother Earth. It's not attached. If it gets attached to one flower or to one leaf or to one fruit, then the whole tree will suffer and also the flower will disappear. So this kind of attachment to a particular thing, to a particular idea is not proper. In Sahaja Yoga I have found people are very adaptable and understand what they should do. But the main thing is meditation. In meditating on your heart, on the Shiva Tattva, on the principle of Shiva, you can definitely detach, and then the joy will be the maximum. Joy will be the maximum. I have seen people have interest in, say, food, or in clothes, or in house, anything. You can have interest. You should have interest. But in that interest, there should be enlightenment that you cannot get attached. Some people say, who are, say, from South India, they don't like North Indian food. Those who are from North India don't like South India. It's a big problem. I asked the people in Indian Airlines, why don't you have some standard food? He said, what is the standard food of India? Tell me. It was a question. Indians are very particular about the taste and food. So, it's a fact, we don't have any standard food in India. But in the same way we can say in so many other ways that in the West people run after things which are not necessary. They do things just out of fashion or I don't know, because their personality is not grown up. If your personality is grown up, then you see everything from an angle which is much higher than others, and you don't get dissolved with others. What you know is much higher, much greater, and much more joy-giving. Now these attachments, people think that is very joy-giving. If you get a child, and if you have, say, a wife, everything are joy-giving. It's a very wrong idea. The joy comes from your own source of your spirit. Whether your husband is good, whether your children are good or bad, whatever they cannot give you joy. It's only you can enjoy yourself. And this is why one becomes very forgiving. When nobody can harm you, then whom are you going to be angry with? That is another great quality of Sadashiva, is that he is extremely forgiving. He goes up to a point till he destroys the whole work of Adishakti. But otherwise he is very, very forgiving. And he also is very balanced about it. Once the Adishakti got very angry with the whole world was so decadent and all that, and she started destroying everything. So he put a little child under her feet, and such a big tongue came out with such a shock, she stopped her destruction. So his ways are such that a person who is to develop the Shiva principle within himself should be extremely forgiving. I know there are people who are very cruel, who are very torturesome. If you cannot bear it, all right, finish it off. I'll stand by you there. But if you can bear it, it's better to bear and undergo this experience of bearing it, because it's not difficult to bear than to get out of it. For example, a lady came to me and she said, I'm going to divorce my husband. I said, why? Because he comes home very late and I get very little of him. But I said, when you divorce, you will not get him at all. What's the logic? At least now you see him, whatever it is, whatever the time is there. But this is no solution. If you divorce him, you'll never see him. So what's the use of such a divorce? So many things like that can be understood once you are a detached person, that you are not to be attached to anything. Now, who can aggress you if you are not attached to anyone? Nobody can. Only thing, when you feel that you have to protest, you should, but with detachment. In protest also is important to absolutely to have a complete detachment. Now the main problem before us today is something else, is that we all have to ascend. And ascend with the equal strength. There's a story about some birds who were caught in a net. So they decided that we should get out of this net. And they tried. Everybody tried to get out. But nobody individually could work it out. So they all decided to fly together, 1, 2, 3, and go. And they took all that net with them, and they said, and they requested the rats that please come and cut our net, and they were freed. So if it can happen between the rats and the birds, why not between us? So in collectivity, you'll be amazed in the collectivity how we could be helpful and joyous with each other. Now say something is wrong with your mother, father, sister, somebody. Doesn't matter. After all, you have the ocean of joy here with the collectivity. And your problems can be solved if collectively, if you want to solve your problem. So we have to depend on the collectivity. Very much to be one with the collective. I feel once you jump into the sea of Sahaja, the joy itself draws you together. Meeting each other is such a joyous. We have had so many experiences of that, of Sahajogis who have told me how happy they were to find Sahajogis somewhere out of the blue, and how they felt happy. So this tie between the Sahajogis is really the most joyous channel. And that is what is the source, we should say, of our becoming one together. Once you start enjoying each other. I have told you once a story of a great poet in India whose name was Namadeva, who was a tailor. And there was another one who was a potter. Sometimes I miss out in English words. This potter was another poet, and he was called as Gorakuba. So when Namadeva went to meet him, a saint only feels like meeting a saint, looked at him, and he just stood back. Then he said a beautiful couplet. He says that I came here to see the formless Chaitanya, but here the Chaitanya is in the form. Nirgunacha bheti alo sagunacha. I came to see the formless, see the vibrations. But here it is in the form that I see. Only a saint can say this to another saint. This kind of appreciation, this subtle appreciation is only possible between the two saints or between the many. They don't see he was kneading the clay. He was wearing a dirty dhoti doing that work. He never saw all these things. He never saw his body, face or anything. But he saw that the divinity personified him. This sensitivity of feeling for others, Sahajogis, should really develop within you. Then you won't care for nonsensical, superficial things. And this is one of the great principles of Shiva. He doesn't bother. You see, his hair are all matted up. He sits on a fast-moving bull with both the legs like that, going for his wedding. Can you imagine? And all his friends, all his followers are somebody has only one eye, another has only one hand, one is bent like that. Because for him, the outside personality doesn't matter. What matters is the spirituality. Whether you have one eye or whether you have a crooked body makes no difference to him. To him, all of them are his own people. Because nothing that is superficial attracts his attention, but the divinity in a person. We have so many ways of understanding his principle because he is all-pervading. If you feel compassion for someone, it works. It definitely works. Recently there was a case of some sort of a incurable disease in Mexico. And the lady who was Mexican, who was working in the UN, she's still working in UN, she wrote to me 2 letters that, Mother, I'm going to lose my son because he has this horrible disease. I mean, just she wrote to me. I just felt such compassion for her because she wrote a letter which brought tears to my eyes. And imagine those tears have cured that boy. Time it. Has cured that boy completely. And she wrote me a letter of thanking and all. I was amazed because my compassion is not mental. It just works. It's just there, just flows and works it out. In the same way, you can also become that. I want you to have all my powers. But first is the compassion. And a Sahaja cannot ill-treat another person. Anyone, whether he's a Sahaja or not a Sahaja, that's not important. But nobody can aggress other Sahajas. If you say even he is a non-Sahaja, Sahaja should never aggress. That's not a sign of a Sahaja. Sahaja is different. Like the other day somebody said, I said, you're very hot-tempered. Yes, I am. When somebody provokes me, I said, everybody when he's provoked only gets angry. Only the mad people are such who do not get angry even if they are provoked. So, if you get angry when you are provoked, is nothing so great. Everybody gets angry like that when you are provoked. But if you say that if you are not provoked, then you will not get angry. That sort of a state is very different. So, what I find that in the whole atmosphere of today, in the modern times, there's a big struggle going on, which is not Shiva's culture. Shiva's culture is the Sahaj culture. If you are Sahajogis, you should have compassionate understanding of others' feelings, and also you should have readiness to look after not only Sahajogis, also non-Sahajogis. Then your compassion will become effective. Now, as you know, today the biggest problem of today's civilization is that Western culture has gone to dogs. They are going, when you read the newspaper, you are shocked the way things are happening. I don't know how many will realize it before their destruction. It's really self-destructive. On one side, this is the self-indulgent and permissive society which is working. Now, on the other side, I find the Islamic culture is trying to oppose it. That's correct. They are trying to oppose it is correct. But the way they are opposing is creating problems. If you oppress somebody, don't do this, don't do that, then they'll do it much more. I'll give you the example that if you go into the north of India, the culture is more Islamic. And the people are very licentious and all the time looking at women, not all, but many. Though they say they are Hindus or they say this and that, but still they have all these bad habits which have come from the Islamic suppression. When a woman is completely covered and nobody can see her, they become much more curious. I have some people who came to Bombay and somebody was traveling with me and was looking at every woman on the street. I said, your neck will break now the way you are going on. But it is a common practice there. Not only that, but this curiosity goes too far and people can become extremely immoral just like we are in the West. So the suppression of your desires is also wrong. Also this culture which outwardly suppresses, but inwardly people are very immoral. Once I was traveling from Riyadh to London and I went off to sleep. When I got up, I saw some other people sitting there all very nicely dressed up with short skirts and men with all the bow ties and this and that. So I asked their hostess, did you stop somewhere? She said, no, we have been going directly. I said, then who are these people? Same. They are so much changed. I was surprised that they were wearing such long, these chadar and all that. And now here they are with all these funny dresses. I couldn't understand. That's what happened. The curiosity created by suppression also is not helpful. In Sahaja Yoga, there is no question of suppression. You become innocent. Just become innocent. That is the principle of Shiva. This Sahaj culture is in the center. It's neither too much of licentiousness, not too much of suppression, but it is in the center. Which is the Shiva's greatest principle is to be innocent. And this innocence just shines in you. I've seen it. You people, whatever you might have done before, but I see you are so pure. You don't have these stupid ideas of behaving in a manner that is so Western. Also, so many Islamic people I've seen who have come to Sahaja Yoga have become very, very Sahaj and are leading a very good life. We have some Iranians who sent me letters of their confessions and I was shocked. I never read them because it was too much for me. And now I find them to be the most moral people that we have. So going to one extreme is wrong or to another is wrong, but to be in the center, in the Sahaj, is the best way to understand what is so important for life is morality. And that comes from your innocence. And that is the quality of course, Sri Ganesha, who is the son of Shiva, but is emitted through the innocence of Sri Shiva.
जय श्री माता जी। श्री माता जी से आज के सामूहिक ध्यान के लिए हृदयपूर्वक धन्यवाद करेंगे। We thank you, Shri Mataji, for today's collective meditation. हम सभी नतमस्तक होंगे और बंधन लेंगे। Let's go down to Shri Mataji and take बंधन। कल फिर हम इसी समय 8 बजे ध्यान के लिए एकत्रित होंगे। जय श्री माता जी।